Hello, everybody, and welcome to this new episode. We are in our favorite spot in the New Guernica. This is the Clam. And today we're going to dive in the history of EZRA. Everybody know? Hello.
Hi everyone.
Finally.
Finally.
How are you?
I'm feeling very pumped for my set. I'm really excited to be here with you, Maxi,
Here in the Clam.
in this beautiful space.
We're like a pearl here, you know?
Hidden.
Hidden.
Hidden but open.
You've been part of this city, the music scene. But I'd like to know what sparked your interest in become a DJ, because I assumed the music was very important for you your entire life. So at some point, do you take this risk and say, all right, I'm gonna try this, I'm gonna DJing?
Okay, so how I got into DJing
Yes.
is interesting because I actually started producing music probably about 5-6 years ago. I was just playing around on Logic Pro. I wasn't doing it seriously, and then COVID hit. And as you know, we all had plenty of time in our hands during COVID. So I started playing on Ableton during COVID, and eventually got to the point where I was like, well, I better learn how to DJ. If I need to play my music, I don't know how to DJ, right? So my initial inspiration for DJing was purely so that I could play my music. And also, I had a lot of stage fright and a lot of fear of being seen at the start. I thought of all different ways of trying to cover my identity, by the likes of deadmau5 and, all these artists who wear masks and stuff. And eventually I just got to this point where I was like, no, you need to actually be comfortable with who you are and what you bring to the table. So my proper DJing journey started just under a year ago with Your Shot. Shout out to Your Shot. That was wonderful, hun. So we got trained, and being in a group of people who've also had like zero to minimal experience was good. Not gonna lie, I had a lot of imposter syndrome during that time, but I ended up playing on the main stage, closing.
Cool.
Yeah, and that took a lot of courage, but I saw an opportunity and I took it. And as you said, it was that risk moment, like, do you do this or not? It was a really fun experience. I think I realized in that moment, even though it wasn't the best set, there was plenty of mistakes, just being up there was really, really amazing.
Yeah.
And seeing the crowd react to the songs and I guess, my stage presence was really cool. But it's been a journey, not gonna lie.
Yeah,
a lot of learning, and it just inspires me so much to keep going, actually.
This is part of the journey, actually. Take this risk, this kind of thing in front to the audience and make your skill there. All right, I'm prepared or not, but I'm going to do it anyway. So this is it. This is a start, actually. For everybody. So,
For sure.
how do you see the Melbourne scene about but we go into the background, actually, because you are from Turkish.
Yes, I'm Turkish.
Turkey.
Yep.
So, how do you see the electronic scene there? And then we want to talk about the Melbourne, but we're going to back there.
So music's a big part of our culture. It always has been. The electronic music scene in particular, I feel, has been growing a lot in the last 10 years. In certain cities, like where I'm from, which is Izmir and Istanbul, all the major cities, I think it's also a bit related to the younger generation, the youth, because things are so worldly nowadays. So I've noticed personally that there's been a huge rise with like hypnotic techno, hard techno, a lot of hard groove as well in Istanbul in particular. But in the last maybe 10-15 years, they've always kind of loved housey stuff, like daytime vibes. So I think it's growing. In comparison to Melbourne, though, Melbourne's always been kind of like a bit of an OG kind of city when it comes to electronic music. I would say we were the first, not being biased, but we were. We were the first to really infuse ourselves with house, and then probably, techno throughout the 90s and early 2000s, and every other city kind of caught up later on. But Yeah. How do I see the Melbourne scene? It's changed a lot over
Yeah.
the years. I'd say pre-COVID, we were
Yeah,
definitely.
actually, that's what is. We have a before and after COVID right now. You know.
Yes, that's right. Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
So, before COVID, I would say that the scene was getting to a really amazing space where the parties and events that were being run, especially by people that were a little bit older, so they've been around since the 80s, we're trying to create an atmosphere where it was safe for everyone, but also intentional partying. So it's not just an event so people could go get wasted, like actually being very safe space for people. So I think what happened was when COVID hit, because people were so isolated and they weren't socializing, many people had a lot of social anxiety. So even after COVID, it's taken a while. I think the first couple of years it was quite rocky. In the meanwhile, the hard techno scene really grew as well. So I've seen a huge transition. So there's obviously good and bad to this, right? From what I've heard anyway, I'm not going to talk from my own experience, but from what I've heard, I've heard of situations where people were only getting booked because they've got lots of followers, or women were dressed a certain kind of way, provocatively. And it wasn't really based on their skills or their passion or their talent. So you could say it sort of became a little bit plastic in that sense. However, there's always a flip side to these things. So in saying that, that's kind of pushed the underground scene to really thrive. And I feel like at the moment we're kind of leveled out and it's probably going to get better. There's always been people in the scene that have vouched and worked really, really hard to continue with that legacy of having spaces for people that are safe, intentional partying, and making sure that, the right people are getting opportunities, not just based on social media and things like that. So I think all in all, our scene is amazing. It's growing. There's a lot of diversity, lots of young talent too. I'm a big supporter of anyone who's super passionate, but also giving people an opportunity that have not had those chances is important.
Yeah, for sure, for new generation, of course, for being healthy, then the future.
Absolutely.
And Melbourne scene is well known for the multicultural vibe as well. So, do you bring your culture from this? Do you mix your culture with your music?
Look,
Sometimes, I don't know.
I've tried.
Yeah, sure.
I'd say I've attempted. I don't know if I would say confidently that I've done it well just yet. I'll get there. But I've actually found in some of my productions, I've been experimenting with some of those more Middle Eastern sounds and how I can fuse that in a really nice way. I've noticed that there's a lot of amazing psytrance artists that do that. And hashtag goals. Yeah, I would like to explore that a bit further, but I think it would be really cool to do something that it's not just the music itself, like the actual cultures infused in the aesthetics of what's being recorded and the vibe.
Yeah. When you start a production, do you have some tricks or path do you follow for make, I don't know, music, or do you let the flow everything on everything change? Because I don't know, not every day is Christmas. Say a friend of mine, not every day is the same. So
That's so true.
just sometimes you feel overwhelmed, happy or different, every time. So when you take this path or you try to make a new song, do you have some like?
So,
tricks?
I would say it's different for everyone. As you said, the creative process is so unique. But for me personally, I learned off YouTube. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, sure.
And I had a few friends that helped me out, which was great. And the people I learnt from were very skilled, very technically able, and I would say a little bit left brain dominant. So, they would get into the nitty gritties. That's not really how I work. So it's good to know the basics, but I actually really enjoy just feeling into the more intuitive side. So a little trick I would say is not even like a trick, it's just a little bit of advice, is that sometimes you make sounds accidentally, right? It's not what you're planning to do, but it sounds great. An example is one time I was trying to record something and something fell in the kitchen into the sink and it sounded amazing.
Yeah, amazing.
I put a bit of reverb on there and it just made the coolest sound, and it was so accidental. But those little magic moments in production is so important. So if you're really rigid with your production, you might have a very crisp song, but it might also lack a little bit of that passion or something unique, you know. So
Yeah.
my goal is to try and bring together the skill set that you need to learn, of course, but also with that sort of bit more intuitive, creative vibe, and see what happens. I love
Yeah.
producing. It's really a healing space for me personally. It's not necessarily to pump tracks out there. I haven't released a single song.
For sure.
Because it's more just to take me away into this kind of therapy-like place. Like, I really get lost in it.
And enjoy the process as well.
Yes,
Actually, for the
absolutely.
world, the mistake was very important, you know, because the people discovered that very important thing about mistakes, you know. This is
Exactly. Well, sometimes those mistakes are the miracles that you don't even realize.
you can call it miracle or mistakes.
Yeah,
Actually,
that's
yeah, this is
right.
really
It
cool.
can lead you to those places that you never thought could happen. And, I've had a
Yeah.
lot of obstacles in that journey of producing, and I've lost my music, and there's just been endless stories. But when you really love something, you don't give up on it. That's one thing I know with music, and even now with DJing. I haven't been doing it very long, but it has become somewhat of a passion and a slight addiction. I'm not going to lie. If I'm away from the decks for a little bit too long, I do miss it.
Yeah, this is it. What's your plan for the future?
So for the rest of the year, I really want to focus on producing more. I'm open to gigs, but I always say, I do want to have opportunities with certain crews that are in alignment with myself, that also value and appreciate me as an artist, and understand who I am as a person as well. So I think it would be incredible to play overseas at some point. I don't know where or how, but that would be cool. I've played in a few different cities in Australia, which has been a really cool experience. I'd like to do a bit more of that. Sydney is definitely one of my goals. I definitely want to try and see what's going on in Sydney. Seems like there's techno scenes growing.
Yeah.
So that would be quite fascinating. And I'm hoping one of my biggest goals is to try and get an EP out, hopefully by the end of the year. And just go with the flow. So I don't really have particular goals, but I know what it is that I want to achieve.
Yeah. Cool.
And that's just to make people dance, actually. Simple.
Simple.
Yeah, make them happy.
Keep
Let them-
simple, that's
Keep
it.
it simple. That's it. And just help them get away from the realities of the world. Because I know when I'm on the dance floor and an incredible artist is playing, that's what happens to me, and I'm just so grateful for that. So to be able to give that to people is incredible.
Yeah, amazing. How much important is the music for you, for your life?
Oh, it's everything. If you were to say what's more important, I don't know. Like music, I couldn't imagine life without it. I do everything with music on, from cleaning to just driving in the car to even focusing. I'm one of those people that needs music to focus doing things, even if it's writing an essay and stuff. So to me, music is everything.
Yeah, I have my special song for clean my house too, like my mixtape, like, I don't know, 20 songs.
Yeah.
Always just the same. And the singing,
Yeah, I've got my gym playlist. I've got a playlist for everything.
Everything, cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you very much for being here, for accept this invitation, for share your history and open your heart for us.
Oh,
Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
And thank you very much for all the people who see and comment and share these interviews. And see you in the next time. Bye bye.
See ya. Bye.
Ouch.
Awesome. We did it. We did it.